I mean, near death.
Near-death experience?
What is
Near-death?
the thing?
Near-death?
Have near-death experience? That's one of the ones I've had. I've had several. But this
Well, I want to
one,
hear about all of them.
but this one involved a horse. A Palomino, the beautiful horse looked like Trigger. They learned later that the horse was actually trained to herd cows. I mean, like it was a real cowboy horse, but they didn't know that at the time. Anyway, it's a pretty horse, and they had a nice western saddle, and I knew that they were going to get the horse for the kids for Christmas, and so as a day or so after, I decided I would ride by there and just go in and look and see the horse and see what was going on with the kids. And so I drove in the yard, and there was a whole bunch of kids in the yard, and there was one on the horse in the saddle. They had taken the saddle stirrups up, so the stirrups were real short, and they were leading the horse around, and they had been doing this all morning, so it was like around lunchtime when I got there, and the kid, they were sort of waiting like in a little line there, and so the one came down, got off the horse, and so I just sort of ambled up, and said, "Oh, that's a pretty horse." And the little Danny said, "Uncle, did you ride the horse?" I said, "No, I'll just watch, I do watch off." "No, come on and ride." And then Lena said, "Come on and ride the horse." And Lawrence said, "You ride the horse, you ride." I said, "Okay." Okay. I'll ride the horse. And so they were just sitting around, no problem. And so I rode around there all a little bit, and Lawrence said, "This horse will neck rein, so you can neck rein." I knew what that was, if you just take both reins over to the side. So I was just walking the horse myself. So this was a period of time that the horse was like a brake. I thought, like a brake, nobody leading. And so the big backyard, there was a little road that went up and a grove of pine trees in the back, and the little road went all the way over to the next row of houses in the block. And so I took the horse up, got up there, and went up the little hill, down through the trees, and I went as far as I could go down there. So how far was it? 100 yards, 200 yards, or whatever. It's pretty good, through one backyard, down through the woods, then to the yard. And so when I turned around, I went as far as I could go out of the yard. I was out of sight from the yard and from the kids and all. And so when I turned around and I started back up the little road, I thought, this horse has been walking. This horse has been walking all day, and I think I'm just gonna let her trot, just let her trot back into the yard. And so I didn't kick the horse or pop the horse or anything. And because my feet were, my knees were sticking up when I was in the stirrups, So I was looked like a riding like the jockey on a racehorse. And so I just started back, and I said, "Well, I think I'm gonna let
Maggie.
what was
It
it?
was Maggie. The horse's name was Maggie.
It wasn't Maggie.
Or
Donna.
Midge.
Donna. It was Donna.
Donna.
I'm gonna let Donna ride, just trot back, So I just
far cry from
all I
me.
did
I think it was Mr.
was
Maggie.
relax, and I just sort of hunched the saddle, I just started like that, and I felt the horse sink in the back, That horse sort of
I've never heard
squatted.
of a horse
The
sinking.
horse sort of squatted like
Takeoff.
this.
Get
And
ready for takeoff.
I mean, the first boogity was quick, and then by the time I said boogity, I was wide open. And of course, I almost went
Bad.
off the horse to the back because my feet went up. both feet came out of the stirrups and went up. But I had the reins, and so I pulled myself back. I thought, well, the horse should have stopped there, but as they say, I didn't know this, the horse had the bit. And so the bit was in the horse's teeth, and so I had no control of the horse get up or slow down. And I managed to get my left hand on the saddle horn, so I had a good
You
hold.
were going, the saddle was going with
I
you.
had a rein hold, and I had a hold of the saddle, and I'm telling you, I came down through those woods. I mean, by the time we went 20 feet, that horse was wide open. I mean, pew! And it was boogity, 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 I mean, just, and the trees were just going by like this. And I thought, that, you know, they say that when you're near have a near death, that your life flies, you know, passes, your whole life passes, and I remember things. I said, Lord, a train almost hit me one time. I fell off. I wrecked a motorcycle. I've had near misses with a car, and I've raced, and I've done all this, and here I am, gonna get killed on this horse. I mean, I'm gonna get killed by this horse. And I said, well, all this went through my mind. So I mean, this was just seconds. And I said, well, I'm either gonna get killed or I'm gonna be hurt mighty bad. I could just see myself in the hospital bed with my legs and everything.
One leg.
So I knew the tree limb was when I said I would grab one of those tree limbs, but that would jerk my arm going too fast. And so I knew if I fell off, I was going to go into those trees, and at that speed, you know, it'd be like falling off a train or something. Mm-hmm. But anyway, somehow or another, I stayed. How? It was a miracle, I guess. I don't know. But I came down through those woods, made that circle, and they said that when I got to the slant in the backyard that the horse jumped, and I just sailed like a horse. and then when I got into the backyard, the horse started stopping, and I sort of went up into a little grove of shrubbery and stuff, and turned around, and then by this time I had turned the horse around,
You had
and I was still in the saddle, feet were hanging down, and of course I was in shock, and and the horse was there, you know, so and I'm just sitting on the horse because I knew that if I got off the horse at that point in time, that I would just go to the ground because my legs were just rubber, you know. But I was so thankful that at that point in time that I said, how in the world? And here comes my brother-in-law, Lawrence, across the yard. And he got there, he said, Henry, you ought not to ride that horse through the yard like that with all these kids. All these kids out here, and you ride that horse through there. And I said, Lawrence, you just let me sit here for a minute. Just let me sit on the horse for a minute. And I promise and Danny, the little boy, he wanted me to ride. He comes running and calls, Uncle Henry, let me see you do that again. See you do that. I said, and Lawrence said, no, he's not going to do that again, Danny. I said, no. And I said, Lawrence, I won't ride the horse like that no more. So I sat there for a while, and I don't remember much, you know. And then here I had made that ride. I'd actually ridden that ride, but I didn't remember much about it except how frightened I was and how lucky I was that I didn't get
You were very
killed or
lucky.
hurt real bad. I never had one at top speed in a short distance. I survived it,
I'm sure glad.
and I've thought about that a lot of times, how blessed I was, and that wasn't my time.